Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a high-potential junior manager right now, you probably know the exact feeling of just being completely overwhelmed by the daily grind. You're out there executing brilliantly, but you might feel totally stuck in the weeds. Well, today, we are going to transform you from a reactionary, day-to-day tactical executor into a visionary architect of your own career. We're going to dive deep into the master skill that literally improves every single area of your professional life, and that is strategic thinking.
Okay, so let's dive into this by highlighting the exhausting trap of endless tactical firefighting, and we'll introduce the Grandmaster chess mindset of designing the future. Picture this for a second. You're playing a game of chess. A beginner? Well, they only see the very next move. That's tactical thinking. And man, it keeps you stuck in an endless loop of putting out fires. But a Grandmaster? They see patterns, positions, and possibilities 20 moves ahead. That is strategic thinking. It means stepping way back from those day-to-day problems so you can see the absolute big picture.
Think of this roadmap as your new strategic blueprint to help you operate like the CEO of your own life and career. We're going to cover 4 key areas today: the mindset shift, designing the factory, the treasury, and the war room.
Let's move to our first section, Section 1, the mindset shift from checkers to 20-move chess.
Now this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between the exhausting daily grind of solving isolated issues and the high-level focus of preventing them altogether. See, instead of asking, how do I solve this problem today? The strategic thinker asks, wait, why does this problem keep happening in the first place? Instead of just taking opportunities as they randomly appear, they actively create them. They don't just react to life, they design it. And honestly, the best way to design it is to start at the end. Picture exactly where you want to be in 5 years and work backward to turn that vision into a filter for literally every choice you make today.
What's really interesting about this is that strategic thinking isn't some innate, magical gift you have to be born with. It's actually a muscle. And here are 3 immediate daily habits you can use to strengthen it right at your desk. First up, pause before reacting. Just give yourself that micro moment of space. Second, consider the long-term consequences of an action, not just the immediate relief it might bring you. And third, look for patterns instead of just seeing isolated events. Every single time you do this, you're actively lifting weights for your brain.
Moving on from mindset, let's head down to the operational factory floor. Section 2. Designing the factory, making good decisions automatic. So the crucial point here is that a true CEO doesn't rely on willpower. Nope, they design their physical, digital, and social surroundings to make success the automatic default. Think about it. If you keep cookies sitting right on your desk, you are eventually going to eat them, usually right around 3 p.m. on a stressful Tuesday, right? That is not a willpower problem, that is an environment problem. Strategic environment design means setting up your surroundings so that good choices become incredibly easy and bad choices become genuinely hard. When you adjust these default options, you stop fighting your surroundings and just let them carry you toward your goals.
We also need to completely rethink our daily capacity. We've got to shift away from standard time management and focus instead on high-leverage energy management. You can't create more time. Everyone has the exact same 24 hours, but you can absolutely create more energy. Most junior managers try to squeeze way more tasks into fewer hours, but productivity isn't about speed, it's about leverage. 1 hour of deeply focused, strategic work often achieves more than a week of scattered, frantic effort. Upgrading your energy is basically like upgrading your entire life's operating system. Let's do a really simple energy audit here to identify which habits drain your capital and which ones act as investments. Think of your energy exactly like investment capital. Things like poor sleep or chronic stress. Those are bad investments that just drain your account. On the flip side, quality recovery, proper stress management, and deep sleep are assets that keep paying massive dividends in clarity and focus. Your ultimate goal as an executive in training is to build a portfolio of habits that actually generates more energy than it consumes.
Let's open the vault to the treasury. Section 3. The treasury. Resources as force multipliers.
Strategic thinkers know you don't just spend time and skills, you treat them as compounding assets and powerful force multipliers. Most people out there think of resources as things you simply spend, kind of like coins. But if you flip the script and view them as seeds, everything changes. You don't just use time, you invest it. You don't just have skills, you compound them. Better knowledge leads to better decisions, which lead to more opportunities, which create even greater resources. It is an incredibly powerful cycle of abundance created purely from efficiency.
Now, a perfect example of a resource multiplier is taking an asymmetric risk. Think of it like learning a new skill.
Or the absolute worst case is you waste a little bit of time, but the best case completely transforms your career. Average thinkers usually try to avoid all risks, but strategic thinkers, they learn to tell the difference between smart risks and foolish ones. They specifically look for asymmetric risk. This means positioning yourself so that even if things go wrong, the downside is totally capped. But if things go right, the upside is massive. When you understand risk properly like this, uncertainty stops being scary and actually becomes your greatest source of opportunity.
Finally, let's step into the war room. Section 4. The war room. Building your career moat. To build an impenetrable career moat, you absolutely must develop these 3 essential meta skills because they trigger what's called learning transfer, which basically multiplies the value of every single other skill you ever learn. Most people just chase random skills hoping something sticks, right? But strategic learners focus on meta skills, pattern recognition, mental models, and systematic thinking. When you learn these, your growth isn't linear anymore. It becomes exponential. Every new pattern you recognize helps you spot the next one even faster. It makes you someone who can literally learn anything, anytime, anywhere. This quote perfectly captures the ultimate grandmaster move. The quality of your decisions shapes your life far more than the quantity. As a leader, your mind is a decision-making laboratory. It's not about how many choices you make, it's the architecture behind them. Strategic decision makers don't just learn from the results of a choice, they learn from the process itself. They understand that how you decide is almost always more important than what you decide.
And this brings us to the art of decision stacking. This is where you aren't just solving today's problems, you are deliberately positioning yourself to benefit no matter what happens tomorrow. Think of it again like that chess player thinking multiple moves ahead. Each choice should act as a stepping stone that makes your subsequent choices easier and more powerful. You are building a system that learns from every choice and grows stronger with every single decision you make.
So, before your next project, you really need to ask yourself this question. How does today's choice build tomorrow's advantage? Because the old rules of just working hard and waiting around for a promotion, those are broken. You need to build a career moat, a unique combination of skills, relationships, and reputation that makes you completely irreplaceable. Each position or project you take on should give you skills to build on, relationships to grow with, and opportunities to create highly visible impact.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought as you step back into your day and start architecting your ultimate career vision. Are you going to keep letting life happen to you, or are you ready to become the designer of the game? Strategic thinking isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one intentional decision at a time. So, are you going to remain a reactive piece on the board, or are you ready to become the grandmaster who designs it? Take these tools, apply them to your daily operations, and just watch as you transform into a true strategic leader.